10 starts. Garcia now wearing that O's uniform. Bottom first, Jason Varitek with a blooper into short center. Miguel Tejada goes back and makes an amazing diving catch. Look at it again. Tejada gets to ride in the front seat because he's a good guy at sports. O's starter Eric Bedard is happy. Garcia's first at bat against Pedro comes in the third, and he's going to look at strike three. Garcia 0 for 5 on the day. Top of the fourth, O's up 2-zip, 1 on, 1 out. Rafael Palmeiro lines this one to right. Gabe Kapler comes in, and look, another top play nominee. Nicely done by Kapler, 3-zip Orioles. Tejada does score, however, on that sac fly. Bottom of the fourth inning, game tied at 3. Damon with a fly ball to deep center field. Luis Matos with a leaping catch into the wall.
Look, it's another top play nominee.
What do you know? He would be fine. It was only a hard, very hard inanimate object he ran into. Top of the sixth inning, still tied at 3. O's with the bases loaded. Tejada again singles to left off Pedro. Brian Roberts and David Newhand score. O's take a 5-3 lead. Tejada 5 ribbies on the night, but this is what you have to watch. Top of the seventh, O's are up by 2. David Newhand flies it to deep center field. Johnny Damon leaps and is just going to miss it. So as he chases the ball down, all he has to do is throw it into the infield, right? Unless an outfielder catches it. What is Manny doing?
Not a top play nominee.
No, sir. Inside the park home run is how it's labeled. The 8th in the majors this year. Damon with the throw. Manny cuts it off. O's win 10-5. Pedro's 8 earned runs, second most he's allowed in a game.
You know, the AL East leading Yankees play the last place Blue Jays in 19 of the last 70 games. Pat Henkin, more walks than strikeouts this year. First batter, second inning, Hideki Matsui walks against Henkin. 2 batters later, Tony Clark walks. Bags full. 2 batters later, Bernie Williams. In a 1 for 30 slump in his last 8 games, broke out of that. Bernie went 2 for 5 with 2 RBI. Yanks playing without Derek Jeter, a small fracture in his right hand. He's day-to-day. Henkin walked from Sheffield. I thought I had some time to bring that news about Jeter because all Henkin's doing is walking people and being wild. Clark would score on that. It's 3-0 Yankees. Alex Rodriguez still in the box, and Henkin goes back to his old ways, walking A-Rod. So we got the bags full. Next batter, Jorge Posada. Posada drives in 2. 5-0 Yankees. Henkin, a nightmare. 2 2/3, 7 hits, 8 earned runs allowed, and 4 walks. 6-2. Bottom of the third, out is Henkin. In is Bob File to face Sheffield, and File against Sheffield, who nails it. 398 homers in his career, tied for 39th all-time. The Yankees find a way to crush Toronto. To the NL East, Phillies hosting the Marlins. That's Kevin Millwood. You know him and the Phils 0-6 against the Marlins this year. All 6 losses coming by 1 or 2 runs, so not really dominant at all. Top of the second, speaking of dominant, that was Millwood against Jeff Conine. Millwood outstanding. Allowed just a run on 7 hits. He struck out 6. His second straight solid outing since the break. Here comes a top play nominee. Ricky Leday starting in left for the struggling Pat Burrell, robbing Damian Easley of a homer. Take another look just in case you turned away to butter your bagel. Nice play by Leday. Bottom 6, Phillies still up 1-0. A.J. Burnett striking out Jim Tomei. That's not easy. And then Leday off of Burnett. Doing it in defense, doing it in offense. 293s hitting with that 1 hit, and it was a big one. His 7th home run. Here comes the top play nominee. Bottom 7, Mike Lowell at third. Great stop. And then gets up and nailing Mike Lieberthal on the 1-hop. Nice play. Top 9, Marlins down 2-1. Runner on first for Juan Pierre with 2 out. Placido Polanco charging the grounder, nailing Pierre. The Phillies had lost 9 in a row against the Marlins, but that skid is over.
That was the Phillies. This is the Braves hosting Pittsburgh. In 1992, you might remember, the Braves beat the Pirates in the NLCS. Bobby Cox was the manager then. Lloyd McClendon was a player for the Pirates. Well, since that incredible finish of that Game 7, the Pirates have had 11 consecutive losing seasons, while the Braves have had 11 consecutive winning seasons. Back to modern day, the Pirates have allowed 3 runs or less in 13 of the last 16 games. In the bottom of the 5th, Chris Benson on the bump, facing Charles Thomas, and you just don't see this play every day. Up the middle, Benson snags it behind the bat, bobbles it, throws to first, where Thomas collides with Randall Simon. Thomas is out. Look at it again. A great stab by Benson and a huge collision. Benson doesn't really mind to get the out. Bottom of the 9th, 4-2 Pirates. Jose Mesa facing J.D. Drew, and that is how you extend a hitting streak. His 23rd homer. Drew's streak is now 18 games. Braves trail by 1. Could we have another thrilling finish? 2 batters later, Johnny Estrada chops it to second baseman. Jose Castillo gets him out. No comeback here. Pirates have won 17 of the last.
A different story, at least offensively, for Pujols facing Victor Santos, and Pujols was hitless on the night. Scott Podsednik making that catch. Same inning, Jim Edmonds' turn to make something happen against Santos, but it's not going to happen. Edmonds also going hitless. Bottom 6-1 on 2 out for Scott Rowland. Would his fate be the same of the previous 2? Rowland also was hitless, but Santos was outdid by Woody Williams. Lyle Overbay up the middle. Edgar Renteria, nice grab, and the throw for the double play. Renteria also had the game-winning sac fly in the 6th. Cardinals have the best record in the majors with their 60th win. To the NL East, Mets hosting the Expos. David Wright, he's up. He looked a little nervous. Called up from AAA, top prospect for the Mets. Let's meet him, shall we? 38th overall pick in the 2001 amateur draft. A .298 batting average, 8 homers, 17 RBIs in 31 games at Norfolk. The 129th player to start at third base for the Mets.
Now no one can look at him and say, who is he?
That's correct, sir. Jose Vidro with 2 outs. Right. Good throw to Ty Wigington, the former third baseman, but he's at first. Nicely done by the rookie. Right, his first major league at bat. This is going in foul ground. Brian Schneider. I think he's got it, but he's got a painful over the railing. Makes the catch. It's a top play nominee. Wright hitless in his debut in the majors. 2 on for Andy Chavez. Taking Mike Stanton deep, and I think it's official. Mike Stanton has appeared in every single Met game. Chavez is 5th of the year, so once a 4-1 Met lead is now a 4-4 game. But then the go-ahead run on second for Todd Zeile. Tony Batista throws to Nick Johnson, drops it. Mets get their run that way and get the victory. Texas visiting Seattle. That's Travis Blackley. He's allowed 5 homers in just 12 2/3 innings this year. Mark Kotsay leading off the game, and Mark Kotsay taking Blackley deep on the very first pitch. Kotsay's 5th of the year. It's 1-0 Oakland. Bottom 1, 2-1 Mariners now. Bucky Jacobson against Barry Zito. Up the middle, Bobby Crosby. He is like a SportsCenter highlight every single night, and he's a top play nominee, and he's a rookie. Now, of course, as we always know, he leads off the next inning. The guy who makes the great defensive play leads off the very next inning and does something super offensively. 13th homer for Crosby. Blackley allowed 3 homers in 5 innings. Tie game. Hey, what about Barry Zito in the 3rd? Already allowed 2 runs in 4 of his 5 starts. He allowed 2 or fewer. And Raul Ibanez just crushes Zito's pitch. His 12. Zito lasted 5, allowed 9 hits and 4 earned runs. 5-3 Seattle, 1 on. Scott Hatteberg, your pinch hitter, taking J.J. Putz out to right for the homer. Hatteberg's 11th time the game at 5. Bottom 10, it's Bucky's turn. No doubt. Walk-off homer for Bucky Jacobson, his 3rd homer in 6 big league games. The Mariners have won 3 of 4. Devil Rays and Twins, let's flash back. Less than a week ago, July 16th, Brad Radke's last start against the Royals, and he gave up a leadoff homer on his 2nd pitch to David DeJesus. In that game, Radke lasted just 3 innings, giving up 8 hits and 7 earned runs. So let's go to Wednesday night, moving forward now. Shall we? Top of the first. His first batter is Carl Crawford of Tampa Bay. Don't tell me. Yep, another leadoff home run off of Radke. For Crawford, his 5th of the year. It was the first pitch of the game by Radke. It's 1-0 Tampa Bay. Now in the 2nd, facing Robert Fick, up the middle. We ask you this question. What will Nick Punto do? Will he A, catch the ball, B, let the ball drop, C, trip and fall, or D, none of the above?
Flying leap for that ball.
That would be none of the above, but great effort. Henry Blanco now batting .029 in his last 13 games in a tie game, bottom 4 bags full. Hey, he was due up the middle. 2 runs would score. Blanco 3 for 4 on the night with a homer. Twins win big for Radke, who had rare run support.
Sox and tried. Cliffley 6-0 at home, but the story was a different pitcher. It was Mark Burley facing Travis Hafner in the 2nd. Hafner grounds out to 2nd. He failed to hit a home run after 5 of them in his last 2 games. Top of the 3rd inning, the other story in this one was Carlos Lee facing Cliff Lee. Carlos, as Hawk Harrelson would say, "Stay fair, you will." 2-run home run. Magli Ordonez scores, number 15 for Seeley. 5-0 White Sox. Still 5-0. Carlos is next at bat. Huzzah, the day is mine. Solo home run deep to left, number 16 for him, 2nd of the game, 6-0 White Sox. The very next batter, Carl Everett, and Lee's not very happy. Beam. Lee's taken out, Jerome Robertson now in. It's 9-0 White Sox. Jose Valentin up with a runner on. Jose Valentin, best mustache in baseball. Takes the pitch deep to left for the home run. Jamie Burke scores. It's 11-0 White Sox as the Sox bat around. Next batter, Robertson, beamed. Maglia Ordonez, he gets ejected. Meanwhile, back to Burley. He is cruising with, get this, a perfect game. In the 6th inning, Coco Crisp up. Chris gets a hold of one to left field, but Ross Gload is there to keep the dream alive. 1991 with Wilson Alvarez was the last Sox no-no. Omar Vizquel up against Burley in the 7th. Would this be the next no-no? Vizquel says, how about no? Up the middle, finds the gap. Perfect game is over. White Sox going to win by 2 touchdowns. Burley faced the minimum 27 batters. He's now 10-3. And you can make it 3 straight games with a home run for C. Lee, who has a career-high 10 of them this month. Lee, who had just 6 homers through the first 3 months of the season, is hitting .344 in July with a slugging percentage of .918. El Caballo leads the majors in home runs this month, along with Rangers' Mark Teixeira. 5 games in the AL West, and Anaheim trotting out Kelvin Escobar, who's lost 4 of his last 5 decisions. Bottom of the 1st, Michael Young looking. Hank Blaylock swinging. Alfonso Soriano. 25 men left for a perfect game. No. To deep center, a solo home run, number 19 for Soriano, his 7th of the month. Escobar would bounce back in the 2nd. Brad Fulmer is up. Brad Fulmer is down. Next batter, Lance Nix. He fares no better. Gary Matthews Jr. goes down swinging to end the inning. 5 Ks through 2 innings for Escobar. Bottom of the 3rd, runner on 3rd. Blaylock up. He dribbles one up the line to 3rd. No one can make a play. RBI single for Blaylock. It's 2-zip Rangers. Later in the 3rd, 2 on Escobar is going to get out of trouble. Mark Teixeira ends that threat. Meanwhile, Ryan Drees pitching well. 5-1 at home. Liner to 2nd. Liner to left. Gary Matthews comes in. Rangers lead 3-2. So to the top of the 8th inning, Vlad Guerrero is trying to avoid Anaheim's 4th straight loss, but he faces good relief. In the 9th, 2 out, Francisco Cordero tries to get his 30th save. He does. Texas 5-1 on their current homestand.
What about the Rockies and the Dodgers? Kaz Ishii looking to become the NL's 2nd 12-game winner. So we go to the top of the 3rd. Ishii facing Vinny Castilla. The Dodgers down 2-0. Castilla going deep for his 17th home run of the year. His first homer in 109 at-bats. 3-0 Rockies lead. Trouble for LA in the 4th. Why? Preston Wilson in the box. Wilson focused on the ground to 3rd. Adrian Beltre. All right, that was nice, but that wasn't. So Wilson ends up at 2nd base because of that throwing error. 3 batters later, Sean Estes, the pitcher in the box at bat, and Estes practices this. Ishii and Beltre can't get to it, so we got a problem, Dodger fans. The bags are now full. Next batter, Aaron Miles. Ishii walks him and Wilson scores. Rockies are up 4-0. Ishii just 3 1/3, 4 earned runs allowed, 7 hits. Bottom 6, LA down 6-3. Beltre up with a man on. It is deep, but Jeremy Burnitz. Nice timing. It's a top play nominee, of course. Take another look. A run did score on the sac fly. It was a 6-4 game. Bottom 7. Down 6-4 was LA. Steve Reed against LaDuca, and that's a 5-4-3 double play. That was big. Now after a Sean Green homer in the 9th to make it 6-5, Robin Ventura up, and that's not going to do it. So the Dodgers win streak ends at 8 because the Rockies beat them 6.
3rd straight. Phil Nevin just activated from the DL by the Padres. First inning, 2 on, no score. Nevin rips the single to left. Khalil Green scores, and it's 1-zip Padres. Jake Peavy is the man on the mound for the Padres. 13 innings pitched, no earned runs. Tony Gwynn, why is he so successful versus the Giants?
Biggest reason for Jake Peavy's success against the Giants, not giving up very many runs. 3 runs is the magic number. Offensively, you feel like you can stay in the game if your pitcher gives up 3 or less. He's been able to do that. To me, that's the biggest reason why he's been successful against the Giants.
Well, that'll do it. Bottom of the 2nd, Giants trail 3-0. JT Snow, bang, zoom to the moon. His 4th of the season, it's 3-1 Padres. Bottom of the 3rd, Peavy starts to settle down. Ray Durham in the box. Ray Durham out of the box. Michael Tucker's next up, also next down. Peavy, 8 innings pitched, 1 earned run, 5 Ks. Top of the 4th, still 3-1. Miguel Ojeda thinks it's a marvelous night for a moonshot. Solo home run, his 4th of the season, 4-1 Padres. Bottom of the 4th, Peavy facing Bonds. Bonds, 4 hits career versus Peavy. 2 of them stayed in the park. This one deep to right, but Brian Giles is there, and the Padres go on to get the victory. The good news for the Padres, they'll be seeing a lot of the teams they need to beat. Wednesday's game was the first of 12 straight against the Dodgers and the Giants. The Padres will also play those two a total of 13 times come September.
Reds and Cubs. Tossing out the first pitch, former Cub Bill Buckner. They like him in Chicago. Boston, they've forgiven him, but they haven't forgotten. But that's another story. Why did I bring that up?
Good uni.
I don't know. There's been 17 homers hit in the last 4 games at Wrigley. Oh, by the way, Moises Alou off of Paul Wilson. Why am I saying this? That's why. 2-run homer for Alou is 22nd of the year. We have a tie game at 2. Top of the 4, same score, Willie Mo Pena. He's stroking. 7th homer in the last 10 games. Or if you prefer, 6th homer in the last 8 games. Do the math. It's a 4-2 game in the 5th. Cubs down. Sammy Sosa issues. His struggles continue, and Cub fans, wow, short memory. They don't appreciate it. Derek Lee appreciates that. His 16th homer of the year. 4 homers in the last 7 games for Lee. We have a tie game at 4, top of the 7th. Bags full count. Have you noticed it's going to start to rain? But Todd Wellemeyer striking out John Vanderwall to end the threat. Cubs escape the damage. The tarps come out. Bottom 7 still tied. Sammy.
Left field, way back. Sosa, a by home run into the basket.
Only his 4th homer in the last 13 games, 557 of his career. Top 9, Reds down to their last outlet. Troy Hawkins striking out D'Angelo Jimenez. And that'll do it. The Cubs find a way to win.
Andy Pettitte versus Brandon Webb in Arizona. D-backs 1-7 in the last 8 Webb starts. And yeesh, the Astros. 1-4 since Phil Garner was hired. 7-14 since Carlos Beltran was picked up. But Beltran doing some things. Smokes a home run to right off Brandon Webb. Number 23 on the year for Beltran. Astros up 1-0. Fast forward to the top of the 8th. Stros up 2-0. Brandon Villafuerte already has 3 walks. Why not make it 4? Astros up 3-0 as he walked 3 in a row with 2 out. Bottom of the 8th, same score. Steve Finley, forget it. 2-run home run, his 23rd.
Is he still a Diamondback?
I think so. Probably not for much longer.
Right.
Top of the 9th, bases juice for Brad Ausmus. He gets a single to left, scoring Lance Berkman and Jeff Bagwell. Stros now lead 5-2. Bottom half of that inning, 2 men on, 2 out for Chad Tracy with the game on his shoulders. He pops up to left, giving Brad Lidge the save. Astros go on to win 5-2 with a little help from their friend Beltran.